In the light heavyweight division at UFC Seattle, you got Modestas Bukauskas taking on Rafael Cerqueira, and this should be an interesting matchup. 16-6 versus 11-1. Lithuania versus Brazil. Modestas is almost a 4-1 favorite. Let's see why. Both guys stand at 6'3". Modestas 31, Cerqueira 33. Modestas has a 2-inch reach advantage. He's a switch stance fighter. The Brazilian Cerqueira stands left-handed. Now, Cerqueira is not much of a striker, just 1.2 significant strikes per minute, almost non-existent. Modestas is below the UFC average at 3.2, so he's not a great striker either. And both guys are showing no takedowns uh, thus far. So let's dive into it deeper. Modestas Bukauskas, 71% takedown defense, beat Marcin Prachnio by submission in his last fight, lost to Vitor Petrino by KO, and had back-to-back wins before that against Zach Palga and Tyson Pedro, both by decision. He got outstruck in both of those fights and got, or his opponents landed 3 takedowns to his none, but he still came out with back-to-back wins. So he won, but it's not pretty. And against Prachnio, he was getting outstruck, and it led to a submission. So he could very easily be 0-4 in his last 4, but he's managed to win 3 of those fights despite being outstruck by his opponent. Now, Cerqueira lands just 1 significant strike per minute, right? Uh, and the reason for that is he got dominated by Ibo Aslan, which led to a first-round KO in 51 seconds. It was 28-1. So Cerqueira got dominated in that fight. But guess what? It's UFC Seattle. The card was falling apart. They need to fill this card, and the Brazilian gets another shot at it. Remember, he was 11-0, and we know Ibo Aslan is a good fighter. He's actually taken on Ian Cutelaba on this card, and he's 14-1. So take nothing away from that. It's going to be a highly interesting fight. Modestas isn't a guy that's just going to dominate you in significant strikes, which may help out Cerqueira. But still, I mean, even if the guy's 11-1, I got to believe Modestas, with 22 fights in his career, right in the middle of his prime at 31, I don't believe he's going to lose his fight. Although I always say when you bring Brazil to the house, man, it's not a good idea. So he could be better than we think. And I paid for these picks when I went against the Brazilians. We all know that. But at the same time, I mean, this one, there's just no way you can go against Modestas in this fight. The Lithuanian should win. It's just hard to say how. He gets beat in significant strikes almost every fight, but we haven't seen hardly anything from Cerqueira yet. But it was only 51 seconds. He looked much better in the 11 fights where he won, right? So anything can happen here because we don't have a lot of information on Rafael Cerqueira. So I got to go with Modestas to win this fight because of the experience. He'll win and move to 17-6, light heavyweight division, UFC Seattle.